I think one of the biggest blocks of abundance is people's money wounds. And this could be just spiritual, psychological wounds as well. But, you mentioned it earlier, something around like our beliefs influence our behaviors. How we think and feel influences the way we act and react to certain things in life. And a lot of our beliefs are just shaped by our story around what we heard, saw, or learned growing up, and the wounds that are still within us. For me, I had very many money wounds. I had times where my parents were fighting and arguing around money, and it made me feel unsafe in my nervous system. My brother went to prison, and they had to use all their money on legal fees, and it was just like this sad, dark time. I used to steal money. People would steal from me, and just the shame associated with those things as a kid. That became my makeup, my belief system around money, where I had scarcity, I had anxiety, I didn't feel safe with it, but I wanted it. I felt insecure, like I needed more. The more I had, it still didn't feel good. That was my belief system, and my beliefs dictated and influenced the way I acted and behaved. And I think until we can really reflect on our money wounds and understand what our current money story is, we're just going to continue to react and respond because that's how our nervous system is. So we have to first take an inventory of our money wounds to understand our money story. Or just, this doesn't have to be associated with money. It could be love, our love story, our health story, whatever it might be, but our story. And then we have to see what is our money personality style if we're talking about money. How do I think and feel when I see money, when I receive money, when I spend money? So let me ask you a question. Here's an exercise for everyone watching as well, and I'd love people to share in the comments what their response would be. Imagine money as a person, and money walks through the door right now and stands right in front of us three. What is your first thought, feeling, and response to money being in this room?
Let's hang out. Let's spend time together. Invite your friends over. And let's build something.
That's cool.
Yeah.
If money said, I'm going to give you $1 million right now, how would it make you feel?
Feel like a full yeah.
Okay. If money said, here's a penny, how would you feel?
I would say thank you.
If money said, all your money in your bank account, I'm taking it from you, how would you feel?
I'd ask, why are you doing that? I would not feel great.
If money said, the more you're going to make this year, you're going to have to spend millions in taxes to the government, to California, to all these things that maybe you don't agree with, how does that make you feel?
Probably a little bit less stoked. I would say don't love having to do that. But also that is a reflection of making a lot more money too. So I would say ultimately it's worth it. If
you give someone a gift of thousands of dollars of value gift, whether it be cash or a physical material thing, and they don't say thank you, and they're not appreciative, and they're not grateful, they're expecting someone close to you, someone you don't know, anywhere in between, how would that make you feel?
Not great.
Okay. If someone gave you a gift that was a friend, but they expected you to react in a different way around that money, how would that make you feel?
Not great.
Okay.
That's interesting.
So this is just an experiment to notice. Yeah. And I want everyone to respond in the comments. If money walked into your room right now while you're watching this, how would it make you feel? I'll give you an example of someone that I talked to that I know who's close to me, who's about your age, 27, 28. And I said, you're at a restaurant and money walks in. What do you do? What's your first reaction? And they said, I would run to the bar and hide. And then I would start gossiping about money behind his back. And then if money came up to me, I would act like I was his friend. And then I would use and abuse money to get what I needed in life. And then I would ghost money if it ever reached out to me. And I just said, wow, that's an honest response. And imagine if that was a friend in your life. How do you think that friend would feel? If it was a person?
Yeah, externalizing it into a person really helps.
If it was a person.
It is a relationship. Yeah.
It's your relationship with money is one of the most powerful relationships you have. And if it is an unhealthy relationship, you're going to have stress and chaos at different seasons of life, different moments of life. Anytime you're thinking about money, handling money, receiving money, spending money, anything, paying taxes, all these interactions are going to have an emotional charge tied to that relationship based on your belief system, based on your story, and the wounds we have. And if we're unable to first look at our story and then see how our current personality style is with money today, then it's hard to start mending those things and having a healthier relationship with it. You sound like you have a very healthy relationship with money. Sure, there's certain things that I don't think anyone would like if someone stole all their money or this and this. And you don't want to get walked on by people, and you want to have healthy boundaries and all these things. But there was nothing like wrong with what you said necessarily, or it didn't seem unhealthy, right? It seems like you have a very healthy relationship with money, that you're like welcome it into your life. Like, hey, thanks for being here. You're grateful that it is around. You also say, let's build something together. Let's invest in something together and add value in the world. If it gave you a bunch of money, you'd be thankful and appreciative. And therefore, money would probably want to keep giving you more because you're grateful. You have this like generous appreciation. And the more you appreciate it, it appreciates in value. And if someone took it from you, you'd probably be like, why are you taking this? Like, why are you taking this from me without a reason, right? You're questioning why you spend it on certain taxes, and that's a whole nother conversation. But overall, your relationship seems pretty conscious and pretty healthy. So I love everyone watching or listening to leave a comment on your channel of what your relationship is if money walked in the door, just as an experiment to see, do I have a healthy relationship with this? Is it supporting and serving me in my life right now? Does my nervous system feel anxious when I have money conversations with friends or family? Can I talk about money in a comfortable way? Or do I feel scarce when I talk about it? Do I hoard my money and save it and I never spend it on anything? Or do I have no clue where my money is because I avoid it and I don't want to look at it in the bank account and I just have credit cards all over the place? It's just notice where I'm at. And I think people's lack of attention on it, it doesn't mean obsession, but lack of awareness and attention is a block for them. Mm-hmm. Someone's lack of awareness around their money story and their money wounds is a block for them because they're going to keep repeating patterns based on their past story. So until you can start to heal and take yourself to money therapy in a sense and heal those financial money story wounds that are in your nervous system and create integrating patterns that feel more safe having conversations around money, safe around giving money, spending money on bills, spending it on friends, receiving money from friends, receiving money, you're going to feel blocked. You're going to feel emotionally scarce, avoidant, or anxious. And we want to have a secure relationship style with money, just like we would with a partner, an intimate partner. And it's interesting because people tend to have a similar anxious, avoidant, or secure relationship style with a person as they would with money. So just notice, have you had chaotic relationships in the past? Maybe you don't have the healthiest, most calm, peaceful relationship with money. Just notice.
Man, I feel like so many of us, to degrees we're unaware of, have a relationship with money that is very avoidant, very anxious. Like that attachment style is so real. And we treat it sort of as this like ugly stepchild that we don't want to have to focus, but we need, and it's just, it's really important.
Yeah. And also, I mean, you probably know this more than me, but being in this spiritual world of content and communities, you mentioned it earlier. It's like people don't really talk about money in the spiritual world as much. Taboo. They don't charge for what they want, or maybe they're like extreme charging and then people look down at them. Who knows what the things are. But the challenge is people don't talk about it, period.
Yeah.
Or they feel afraid to talk about it, or they feel self-conscious talking about it, or they feel insecure or shameful if they have it, whatever it might be. And I think the ability to express about it in a comfortable way makes you feel more comfortable with money. And then you can receive and give it more freely. And the more clinched we are around anything, you can't receive anything if you're holding on to it so tightly. So we have to be willing to receive it and say, thank you. Where do you want to go? This is something I learned from Ken Honda. He wrote a book called Happy Money. And he said every time money comes to him, whether it's a penny or $1 million, he says, thank you, money. Where would you like to go? Would you like to go in my bank account? Would you like to go into investments? Would you like me to give you to someone right now? Would you like me to invest in a yoga class? Whatever it is, like, where do you want to go? He's giving it a direction. And he's just noticing it and saying thank you and appreciating it for being here. That's what you said. First, money walks in, you said, thanks for being here. I'm stoked. Let's do something together. that attitude allows you to not be as scared of it. Anytime you're scared of something, that's blocking you from creating more of it. The belief of also, oh, I'm spiritual. I can live on nothing. Only people that make a lot of money are bad or doing something wrong or hurting people. That belief is also blocking you because you don't want to become a bad person if people with money do bad, shady things.
Yeah.
So you have to just learn about your wounds, your money story, and start changing these beliefs. And that's what I did a little bit with you. Not that you had an unhealthy relationship with it, but I was like, what would it look like with $10, $20 million in the bank? You could give more in certain ways. How empowering could that feel? And it's getting back to the emotions and the feelings around how to use money as a tool to be of service towards your meaningful mission, not only to just serve you and having more things.
So important, man. Thank you for sharing that reminder. And for anybody that's listening and has resistance to when the money conversation comes up repeatedly, it's important to ask yourself why. If becoming a prosperous individual is, yes, a mental, physical, relational, but also financial journey, like money is an aspect in the modern world, in the capitalistic society, that we can't just ignore. It's a tool. And I think we do have so much charge around it in our story of it. And we don't really see it as a resource and as a tool and something that just amplifies more of who you are. But we see it as this sort of thing that is causing so many issues in the world. And, it is a complicated subject. But if you really believe you're doing important work here, then more money is just a means for amplifying important work in the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And again, I think anytime you have an emotional charge in your nervous system around any topic, a past relationship that hurt you, your parents, your siblings that bullied you, whatever it might be, something that hurt you in any way or something you have shame around. If you are emotionally charged when you talk about it, that thing still has some type of power or influence over you that's blocking you from feeling free. And you and I are here to continue to learn the tools to become free ourselves and encourage people to break free of those emotional blocks that hold us back in any relationship in life. I'm not just talking about money. That's why for 25 years, I was unable to talk about being sexually abused when I was a kid by a man that I didn't know, because I had such an emotional charge and I felt so unsafe by thinking about it, thinking, what if anyone knew? No one would love me. No one would accept me. I'll be outcasted from society if people knew this about me. There was so much shame in my nervous system and fear. And it wasn't until I was able to process and heal that shame and start talking about it where I was like, okay, I can say this and not feel pain anymore, not feel shame anymore. I've done the healing journey, and therefore I'm free from that memory or that wound. And if people in the spiritual communities listening or watching cannot speak about money because they're ashamed of it or they're afraid of it or whatever, it's just saying that you are not free from that conversation or that feeling. And is that making you more spiritual? Is that making you more abundant? Is that making you feel free? I don't think so. And I'm not saying you're bad and wrong about this. It's just there's something to work on for you to set you more free. And when you can get comfortable in your nervous system talking about it, looking at your bank account and not feeling bad or feeling shameful, and start just working within your life around this energy, I think it's going to be more helpful than hurtful.